Oopsie, as I fall. I got it.
There's a massive space.
And we're now streaming live. How easy was that?
You're getting better at this, aren't you?
And we're now streaming live. How easy was that?
That's not me, is it?
That was me.
Okay.
And I yelled
at least
at
I'm
you.
not taking the
I'm
blame
like,
for this.
Gavin, take Facebook off of your computer. And I had mine on. That's what I got. All right, but I am. Hey, everybody, you know that we always take a few minutes to get warmed up and get situated. So I'm going to go to the group and watch us live to answer questions. Oh, and I see us. Look at that. Oh, there's Brian. Yo, back to you. We're here. All right, let me see if I can open this guy. Yep. Now I see the comments. Woohoo. Cool. Yeah. So my new cable internet is amazing. It's so fast. I should not get dropped even in the worst of the thunderstorm ever. So I'm super, super thrilled. So happy.
Brilliant. I tell you what, it's better than the previous weeks where we kind of had you going through mountains and all sorts of things. So
oh my God, yeah. And I think you had to. It wasn't Clubhouse. It was 2 weeks ago when we were live on Facebook. Yeah. I kind of just disappeared into a thunderstorm, and you had to take everything. Oh
left me here all by myself. Didn't know what to do.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm sure you of all people were at a loss for words. Oh.
I somehow managed to cope. Well, let's see if I'm trying to. There we go. I can view the comments now, hopefully. Oh. So Brian's here. Yeah. Brilliant. Fantastic.
Beth says she didn't get a notification. That's just weird. I don't know. We'll see. Everybody else is coming in.
Yeah. Right, hopefully she can do her usual little trick and tag everybody, and that would be great.
Let me see. Yeah. Beth, do your trick and tag people. I did post I did a quick post in the group. Brian goes, I did.
Yay. Thanks, Brian.
I know Perry was going to come on. There was something I wanted to mention. What the heck was it? It has now escaped me. I don't know, but I'm winging it tonight because I let my dog roam free, and she's snoozing right at my feet. Okay, I don't think she'll be a problem unless I get a random Amazon guy. Then she's going to go Cujo. But
Lisa's here and Samantha's here.
Yes, Lisa, Samantha. Hey, hello.
Yeah, I was actually on a Zoom call earlier with. Do you follow hypnotism much? Have you ever heard of Dave Ellman? No, so I was on it. He's one of the greats in the hypnotic world, and he created the Ellman induction. And I was talking to his son earlier today, Larry Ellman, in a Zoom call where I was learning all about the Ellman induction. Really exciting stuff. So someone could possibly share at a later date.
Ooh, very cool. I would love to know some more stuff about that.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely share with you. In fact, I've got a few things to share with you afterwards, which I want to kind of we'll discuss. So, did you get the WhatsApp video I sent you?
Yes, I did. I was watching as you came on. I'm like, are you kidding me? Seriously.
There's so much more.
Even Eric Hunley was on.
Yeah, bless him. He's brilliant.
Reports everywhere.
Jim Paul's just been tagged. So right, great. Well, what we'll do, we'll ease into it a little bit, I think. Yeah. So we are going to discuss a book that I recommended. In fact, I've probably recommended this on about 4 or 5 of our videos, haven't I? And
he should be giving you like some royalties for that.
I know, yeah. So yeah, for the record here, I'm not on any commission off James Clear, but definitely there are some life-changing books out there, and that is definitely one of them. I recommend it all the time to anybody who's got any kind of self-improvement that they want to do.
Yeah, you called it life-changing. If you would allow me to kick off tonight's discussion on atomic habits with a question for you, is if you could sum up why it was life-changing for you.
It's changed me as a person. it's given me a different outlook on how I do things and how I approach things. So I've fell at the same hurdles as so many other people have before and not understood why. I've set the same goals, I've done the same kind of things as everybody else has done and gone through the same failures and not been able to understand why. Then I read that book, then I realized why I went wrong, where I went wrong, how I went wrong, and most importantly, how to change it, how to put it right, how to continue to make these small changes that become so habitual that they become a routine and a part of your life. So and how far into it are you? Have you read the full thing, or are you still reading it?
Not the full thing, still reading it. But I will tell you that it has been eye-opening for me in the sense that I'll get on, I'm very headstrong and I'm very stubborn and I'm very determined. And so I have no problem like tackling the world or taking on something new or saying, hey, I'm going to go do this, or I'm going to go get my master's degree, whatever it is, a goal, right? I see the goal, I set my path to achieve it. But when it comes down to my personality, I get bored. And if I don't see the results quick enough, I get bored and I'm like, it's not worth it, right? Even if it's for like being healthy and weight loss, which is huge, you know, everybody's always, it seems, out to get weight loss or tone or build muscle. It just seems like we're never satisfied. But, and I'm one of them. So there'll be points that, you know, I work a lot, we work a lot, and then I miss yoga, or I didn't go to the gym, or I didn't do this. And then it happens one day. And it was hard for me to say, oh, I'm not going to go to the gym today, but I'm so busy. It's 8:30 at night. I'm just too tired to do yoga. So I'm gonna have a glass of wine. And then the next day comes around and I'm like, oh, I'm in the same predicament. It's 8 o'clock at night. I'm too tired to do yoga. One more day. But then guess what? All of a sudden, now it's just becoming easier and easier for me not to exercise. And instead of exercising, what am I doing? I'm replacing it with a glass of wine. And then if I replace it with a glass of wine, what else am I doing? I'm probably eating a little more. So I'm consuming a bunch of sugar and more food, and I'm not working out. And then all of a sudden, months go by and I've gained weight. And I'm like, oh my God, how did this happen? And I get depressed and I get down on myself. And then I think I have to lose weight and it's so lofty. I'm never going to be able to do it. I have to drop 10 pounds. I can't even fathom how to do it. So then I'm like, this is impossible. I can't do it. And I don't do it. And what do? I continue the bad habit. And then something will happen in my life and it will trigger. And it usually is a reward. And the reward is I dropped a pound. Or whatever, the jeans I had for 2 years ago, they now fit. And I'm like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And I get happy. And all of a sudden I'm like, I'm going to lose that weight. I can do it. And so when I was listening to a part in the book about desires, right? And how hard it is to overcome that desire. And sometimes the desire is not healthy, like not going to do yoga and drinking the wine. But then we can slip into it, right? Because it's that immediate gratification. Whereas if I say, no, I have to do yoga tonight because ultimately it's going to keep me in shape. Ultimately, I'm going to meet my goal of dropping 10 pounds. But it didn't happen right now. It's not happening tonight. And so I'm like, oh, I want the instant gratification. My desire is to feel good. I'm going to have a glass of wine. And so when I was listening to the book, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's like a seesaw. You know, sometimes I'm really good. Sometimes I'm really bad.
I tell you what, I love this. I've seen so many, it's changed my outlook on so many things when it's come to how I approach things now. I don't know whether you've got the bit about his friend going to the gym or not, about the 2-minute rule.
No.
Oh, so spoiler alert. I'm going to spoil it for you a little bit now. And I can never, ever put this in exactly the same way as what James Clear does to do it any justice. But here we go. He's got this thing which he reckons is a big key factor for people, which is what he calls the 2-minute rule. He said, make something, if you want to make something a habit, make sure it doesn't last any longer than 2 minutes, because you've got to get into the habit of forming the habit. Okay, so it's not about setting yourself like, I will go to the gym and I'll spend an hour a day at the gym and I'll do it every day for the rest of my life. He had a friend who said every day he's going to go to the gym and he's not going to spend any more than 6 minutes in the gym, no matter what. And he went to the gym and he'd get on the treadmill. It'd be 3-4 minutes in and be like, right, I've got to get off now. And what would happen is he'd get in the car and he'd drive away unsatisfied because he only did 6 minutes in the gym. But what he did this for a month, and he created the routine of going to the gym. He created the habit, he created the craving, he created the want, he created all the things that you needed to then turn around and go, right, I'm now a gym goer. I go every day. I've gone every day for a month. And it's his belief that he is now a gym goer, and that's his habit. And all he done then is kind of just increase the duration, because a lot of people, they try and refine a skill that they haven't got yet. You know, they're trying to say, look, I want to go to the gym. I want to work out for an hour every day. It's like, let's just start with just going to the gym. You know, let's just build on that bit. Get in the habit of going there first. Then refine the skill. Then work on the areas. You want to build your arms, work on that. If you want to lose weight, work on, you know, and then you can refine the skill afterwards. But it's no good trying to refine a skill that you haven't even got yet. Get into the habit of doing it.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. That 2-minute rule, whatever it is, you know, make it so that, you know, rather than turning around and saying, I'm going to read a chapter of a book every night, make it a page. Yeah. Make it a page, and make sure you don't read any more than a page. You've got to have that want, you know, the lust and desire to say, right, yeah, I want to read the next page, but I'm going to wait until tomorrow. And do that for a few weeks until you've got into every night and you go, all right, now I'm going to ramp it up 2 or 3 pages, and build on it. Build on the habit that you've created.
Well, that's a good segue into everyone. If you're just joining us, we are talking about Atomic Habits tonight, written by James Clear, but we're also going to talk about just how to create good habits and how to break bad habits, maybe a little bit with goal setting. So I took a course at Cornell a couple of years ago in the psychology of leadership, and they talked about 2 types of goals, right? Your outcome goal, which would be to read an entire book in a month, lose 10 pounds in a month, whatever, go get a degree, right? But that outcome goal usually is pretty lofty and pretty big. So you have to set these process goals to keep you on track, to keep you happy and motivated, so that actually becomes a reality. And so we're going to be talking a lot about that tonight. We also asked you guys to come to this live with a challenge, with a goal, because we want to help you create process goals or habits in order to achieve this goal. It can be small, it can be big, whatever that goal is. If the goal is to stop biting your fingernails, we're going to help you with it. So welcome everybody to our conversation on habit setting, atomic habits, whatever you want. We're going to call it, Gav. And maybe we start talking about 2 things. Number 1, how to create a good habit, because he says pretty clearly what we should do to be able to constitute and create a good habit. And then number 2, setting that implementation intention. So let's start talking first about what those key ingredients are for actually setting a good habit that we're going to keep, and it's going to become a habit.
Yeah. I absolutely love this. Did you read the bit yet at all about habit stacking?
Yes.
Yeah, this is fantastic. This is a brilliant little trick where you take something you must do with something you want to do, or something you love doing with something that you might not enjoy but have to do, and you can kind of build upon it. So every day, if you wake up and the first thing you do is have a cup of coffee, and you're in the habit of having that cup of coffee, every day you want to, I don't know, maybe say do 10 press-ups, then what you're going to do is you're going to turn around and say, right, I'll tell you what, every morning I'm going to put the coffee machine on, and while I'm waiting for that to boil or for it to filter through, I'm going to do my 10 press-ups, and as a reward, I'm going to have my coffee. And I'm not going to have my coffee until I've done my 10 press-ups. And that way, the habit you've already got, it stacks with the habit that you want to create, and the 2 together, eventually you get to the point where you come down in the morning, you put your coffee machine on or whatever, and you start pressing up, and it becomes habitual each morning, to the point that you don't need to remind yourself that my reward is the coffee. It just happens.
I love that. He also mentioned that there was a story or a reference in the book about one of his friends or him binge watching Netflix. And then he said, no, the only time I'm allowed to watch Netflix is when I'm on the treadmill. And as soon as I get off the treadmill, Netflix stopped. He's like, oh, but I wanted to watch that next episode. Well, maybe I'll just get on a little longer because I want to see what happens, right? And it does, it's that reward. So if I remember correctly, the elements of creating really good habits that stick is number 1, I call it realistic, but he calls it like small, right? Make it a small, realistic habit. Number 2, you gotta make it enjoyable, right? You got to like this. This habit has got to be enjoyable. Number 3, it has to come with some type of reward system. So make it small and achievable, realistic, make it enjoyable so you'll want to do it, and then have this reward system. Because our bad habits, if we have a habit that we want to change, we can change it by making it a bad habit, meaning it's no longer enjoyable, right? Or it's too big, it's lofty, it's not enjoyable, and there's no reward. So any habit that we want to do, so say my goal is to get a PhD, and it truly is one day. That's my goal. If I need to create habits to get there, it's got to be enjoyable, it has to be realistic, and it has to be rewarding. Right now, none of that exists. And I'm thinking of, oh, it's going to be super unenjoyable because of all the time I have to invest. And what is the reward? Staying up late and having a lot of work to do. And I won't get the reward for like 6 years from now. Oh my gosh, why am I going to do this? I'm not. And I haven't done it yet. So if that's my end goal, to create the habit to get there, that end goal, again, make sure that it's realistic and small at first, make sure it's enjoyable, and make sure there's a reward attached to it to keep you motivated to keep doing this habit. What do you have to say about that, Gavin?
I just, as you were talking, I flicked back in my head to an image I saw the once, which was brilliant. A giant wall, and there's 2 guys with 2 ladders, and the one fella on the left had got this ladder where the rungs were really far apart, and he actually couldn't reach the first rung to be able to even get on the ladder, and the other ladder had got the rungs really small, and he was 3/4 of the way up, and the caption read, "Never underestimate the value of small steps." And I thought it was really brilliant, and that just came to mind when you were talking about that. So you know, I just thought I'd bring that up. I've probably not done a great job of describing it, so I might see if I can find it and post it in the tribe group later. But yeah, one of the things he mentions in here, which I thought was really good, especially if you're starting a habit off, get yourself a big old wall calendar like this. And if you want to set yourself a goal where you're doing something, you know, you're starting yourself off and you say, I want to read for 10 minutes a day, right? Then all you do is you get your gratification by, on day number 1, you put an X, you've done it, put an X on the wall calendar. Day number 1, day number 2, X number 2. And then what you do is you start to create a streak. And you will fall. Don't beat yourself up about it too much. You know, you will miss a day here and there. Life happens. We know that. But what happens is when you get past that initial phase of where there's a gap here and there, all of a sudden you'll start to see this streak build up. And then all of a sudden it'll be a month of all X's and another month of all X's. And this sounds like my whole diary. But eventually you will get all these X's and all of a sudden you will notice that you've got all these, yeah, it's sounding more like me every day. All these X's, you've got this long streak, I'm going to change it, this long streak of day after day after day, and you won't want to break that streak. You'll want to keep that going, and then it becomes more rewarding to do your little habit, to do your 10 minutes of reading a day, to keep that streak going, because you're getting that dopamine rush from doing it than breaking the actual kind of you know, the kind of streak you've got going. You will want to keep, you've built it and you've spent so long building it, you'll want to make sure it happens. So yes, that was a good little, and I'm spoiling this book for you, aren't I? We should have done this in a couple of weeks' time.
No, it's all right. And you know, I think I'm further along than I thought I was, because that makes, yeah, I think I am further along. But I'm doing it on Audible, so I don't know. I can't like tell if I'm halfway through or whatever.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, I mean, maybe close to the end. I don't know.
The one bit that he mentions is at a 1% improvement each day, just a small 1% improvement each day. He's like over 37% improvement in a year. So if you're trying to improve at something and just that one small percent each day, you know, by the end of the year, you are 37+% better at whatever it is you're trying to improve. And I thought that was brilliant. It reminded me of the, have you ever heard of the situation where they asked a bunch of people, would you rather have a penny that doubles in value for 30 days or $1 million? And most people say, oh, I'll have the $1 million. And the penny that doubles in value, so it goes two pence and then up to 4, then 8, it actually at the end of the 30 days equates to over $5 million.
What?
So there you go. You wouldn't think it was possible, would you? But this is trying to explain that the small changes are really, really incremental. So yeah, Brian's just put on about he uses the UK cycle team. I think that's a brilliant example. I'm not going to give too much away. I honestly want people to buy this book. We're giving you some real good nuggets out of it here, but I really think that, you know, James Clear deserves all the credit. And if you haven't got his book, definitely buy it. It really is brilliant. We're giving you a few snippets out of it, but it is crammed from start to finish. It's not one of these books where you have to read the whole book to get like 2 or 3 bits of valuable information. It's backed up by science. It goes deep into it and explains the nuts and bolts of how it all works, why it all works, and every single chapter has got something else of value. So that's what I found anyway. How about you?
Love it. Well, I'd like to hear from all you guys, or check in the chat if anybody has a habit that they would like to start. I know that I, for one, have a habit I want to start, and that's to learn how to play the piano. I wanted to start taking lessons. My piano just got fixed, so I can do it. Now it's time to create the habit, right, Gav? So, yeah. And I looked at my notes. So it's easy, it's realistic, it's enjoyable and rewarding. So I have to keep those 4 things in mind when I create this habit to learn to play piano. I also have to set an implementation intention in order for me to actually do this habit. And the habit's going to be to sit at the piano and I got to make it measurable and small and realistic, right? 15 minutes a day. I can definitely find 15 minutes a day to sit at the piano, right? So I'll start there. It's small. And even if I just sit and I do whatever, I'm going to do 15 minutes a day. And as that grows, it'll be rewarding because the next day and the next day, right? It's not too much time. It's enjoyable. I like it. It's rewarding, all that kind of stuff. So that's a habit right now, all of you guys out there, that I'm going to start doing. And then we'll get to lessons and whatever. So I don't know if anybody out there has a habit that they maybe want some feedback on how to start it or how to kickstart it. Or a goal that anybody wants to meet, Gavin and I would love to maybe help give you some ideas to start thinking about how you could start a good healthy habit, or the opposite. If you have a bad habit that you want to kick, right? Say like smoking. And I love how James Clear also says this: when you are doing a habit to become a piano player or a non-smoker, you have to think about your identity. And I love how he describes identity. It comes from 2 Greek words meaning repeating and being, right? So our identity, who we are, is we repeat our being every day. That's who we are, becomes our identity. When we want to set a goal or achieve a goal or become a non-smoker, we really have to make that our identity, and we have to speak and talk like it's our identity. And so if I went to somebody and I offered Gav a cigarette and he's trying to quit, and he tells me, "Oh, thanks, but I'm trying to, I'm quitting smoking." His identity isn't a non-smoker yet. His identity is still trying to quit smoking. And so he may go back to smoking. But if Gav says to me, "Oh, no, Lena, I quit. I don't smoke. I'm a non-smoker." That's become his identity now. And now it's a sense of who he is. And it will make you stick to that habit more so than if it doesn't become your identity. And he even gave a great example about artists, right? You can scribble a painting or paint a painting, and you do it one day. Are you going to feel like an artist after that? Probably not. You're not going to be an artist, and you're not going to identify with an artist. But if you paint something every day, you're going to start to feel like an artist and identify as an artist. Then hence you become an artist. If you quit smoking and every day you say, "I'm a non-smoker," and you don't smoke, hence you become a non-smoker. And so I just love, it's a lot of thought work. I think it's a lot of willpower, and it's, thinking about what it is you're going to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna revisit what you said also about implementation, which is a brilliant section in the book. It's absolutely fantastic. Try and be as specific as you can with that, because they did an experiment where I just noticed we're buffering on my notes. I don't know whether it's my internet or whether everybody's got the same problem. I couldn't tell you. Anyway, with your implementation, what you got to try and do is be as specific as you can. They did a scientific experiment, so rather than turning around and go, "Oh, tomorrow I'll try and sit by the piano for 15 minutes." write it down if you can. If you've got a journal, diary, calendar, whatever, and you're going to put tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm going to sit at the piano in my living room in the west wing of my house for 15 minutes, and I'm going to, exactly. So you've got to be as specific as you can with it. So it's like you've got that kind of time that you've allowed for it, and whatever else is going on, you've already worked it out in advance when you're going to do it, where you're going to be, how long for, and you've got more chance, apparently, according to the psychological experiments that they've done, of achieving your goal with a more specific implementation plan. That was the first thing. And then the other thing is to also make it easy for yourself. So if you've got other people living in the house, tell them, say, look, at 10 a.m. don't ask me for anything, whatever the case may be, anything you got going on, if people are, turn your phone off so you're not going to be disturbed, put a sign on the door, anything you need to do to make sure that these 10 15 minutes are going to happen. And if you're trying to give something up, like smoking, for example, make it more difficult for yourself to achieve each and every time, every week that goes by. So if you smoke in the house, turn around and say, right, from now on, I'm only going to smoke in the yard.
Yeah.
Right. And get rid of all the ashtrays from the house, get rid of all the other smokers, just kick them out. We don't care about them. Whatever you need to do. And then level it up again, right? Turn around and go, right, I tell you what, from now on, I'm only going to smoke in the yard, and I'm also going to keep my cigarettes in the car.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put my keys in the bedroom on the 5th floor, or whatever you have to do. So the more difficult you're making it for yourself, every time you want a cigarette, you got to go up, get your keys from the bedroom, you got to come back down, get your cigarettes from the car, you got to go out the back to smoke it, then you got to come back and put your cigarettes back in the car. So and the more you do this, the more you'll get to the point where you're sitting down watching Netflix one day and you're chilling out, you think, that episode's over, I'm going to binge watch the next one, I'll just have a quick cigarette, and you think, do I really want to go all the way upstairs? I'll just watch the next one. I'll have one later. I'll have 2 before I go to bed. Why not? And just keep doing that to the point where eventually you're cutting them down so much so that you probably won't even notice a lot of the time you're going without a cigarette for longer periods, and you'll start to realize that you don't need them. And if that fails, come to me. I'll hypnotize you. I've learned a new technique.
Fabulous. I love it. What, we want to hypnotize everybody online today? Probably not. I don't think it's good.
No. What if people get stuck in a trance and I'm not there to sort it out?
That will not be good. So Gav, I loved what he said about dopamine, right? So there are these biological signals or signals that we get, dopamine being one of them, that influences our habits, right? And dopamine makes us feel really good. So when we get a rush of sugar, when we taste the alcohol, when we smoke the cigarette, when we eat a big old candy bar, whatever it is, it's instant gratification. It makes me feel good. Dopamine goes off and I'm like, ooh, I love it, right? And so that influences my habit to keep having a candy bar every day because it just tastes so good and I get that instant gratification. So then it creates a desire. Because I felt so good and dopamine is associated with that chocolate bar, now I desire that chocolate bar every day. Well, now I desire it in the morning and in the night. And so this is a big influencer on our habits. It's how good does it make me feel? And he also talked about, with junk food. Here's the thing. Junk food is so jammed packed, so calorie dense. And of course, it tastes good. But when we eat it, we get that dopamine, it creates that craving, becomes a habit, but we're getting all of this bad stuff with it. But we don't care because this dopamine or that feel good feeling attached to it is stronger than the rational brain, I think, saying we shouldn't be eating this stuff. It's really bad for me. But then you have this, but I want to feel good. And I feel good when I eat a chocolate bar. Then I feel guilty. So I need to feel good again. And so I eat another chocolate bar. And it's kind of, again, like that seesaw effect. I feel really depressed because I'm not healthy, but I eat chocolate bar, I get happy. But then I get depressed and it's just kind of, how do you break out of that cycle?
Yeah, it's really, really difficult, isn't it? And I mean, when you talking about chocolate bar and candy and that kind of thing, I remember creating an issue with my daughter years ago when when she'd like kind of fall over and start crying, and she'd come, Daddy, and I'd give her a hug and I'd make her feel better, and then I'd say, here, have a chocolate bar, there you go. And I realized that one day it hit me when she'd hurt herself, and I couldn't console her for ages. She was really, really in a lot of pain. She was really upset. I don't know what she'd done. I think she'd tumbled and cut herself or something. Anyway, short version is she was upset, and I said, is it still hurting? She said, yeah. I said, what will make you feel better? And she went, chocolate. I went, oh, no, that's not good. And I realized exactly what I'd done. I'd created a potential obesity problem.
Yeah.
Because I thought she's seen this chocolate as this comfort food. Like, and when I'm upset, chocolate makes it better. And so I can see how this is created in so many people, and it's really an awful thing to do. And I had to stop it and think of alternative ways, which resulted in me making an idiot of myself and kind of doing a slapstick comedy routine for my 5-year-old daughter to make her laugh. Instead of giving her chocolate.
Will you give us a routine right now?
Oh no, I've spent way too much time making an idiot of myself already. So yeah, but yeah, that was something that I had to stop, because I thought years. You get these. I've seen this happen a lot with people. They end up becoming overweight, then they end up eating comfort food, which and then you get this ongoing cycle. So again, I had to kind of stop that from forming in my daughter, because the last thing I want is for her to have these kind of issues. So for breaking that, it's finding the alternative, and the alternative that's going to work for you.
Can I check in with some comments right now? I have one from Sarah. Can this work for something less specific? Example, I love my art. I hate the business part of the small business. If I make it where I can't start my art until I spend 30 minutes trying to work on the business part, does that sound like the idea?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yes, it does.
And again, I can't stress this enough. It's called atomic habits. Atomic meaning small, and so tiny. Don't make it so you're going to fall at the first hurdle. Don't turn around and say, I must do an hour of emailing clients before I pick up a paintbrush. Make it a minute, make it 2 minutes, make it 30 seconds, whatever. As long as you just made a small habit of doing that first, you can grow afterwards. You can change the duration and increase it afterwards, but make it small. And as long as you, like I said earlier with the gym, where the guy was only giving himself 6 minutes at a time, get into that, form the habit first, cultivate the habit afterwards.
I love it. Alicia says, I look at my Apple Watch, trending health stats to help me feel motivated. I love it. Scott also offered that Charles, I think it's Duhigg, I don't have my glasses on, I can't see. Power of a Habit is a great follow-up to Atomic Habits. Elizabeth says her habit is learning to speak French. Elizabeth, I want to learn another language as well. It was going to be Danish to talk to J&J, but oh my word, very difficult. So I think we're going to go back to German and convince them, because they speak a little German, and learn some German. So
German's a lot easier, because it's almost a literal translation from English, almost word for word with the majority of it. And they will throw things in from time to time, which will really throw you, because you'll get words which make sense and are so close to English that you think, okay, that's nice and easy. Then all of a sudden you got, like Krankenwagen, and what's the Krankenwagen? It's an ambulance. It's like, what? And actually it means death van. It's like kind of getting the Krankenwagen and we will take you to the Krankenhaus. It actually means you're getting the death van and we'll take you to the death house. When you hear it in a German accent, you're like, yeah, I'm not sure I want to do that. I'll tolerate the broken leg. I'll limp home. Thank you. But it is a beautiful language. It really is great. And it really is one of the easiest languages to learn for English speakers.
Yeah, it is. And the only thing that gets me is the verb's always at the end. So you'll be saying, I'm going to the movies with my friend and we're going to see this tonight at 7. Oh, no, wait, I screwed it up already. Okay. To the movies with my friend at 7 tonight. We're going.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm like,
kind of backwards.
It's a little backwards there, but no, I do love German. Let's see. I'm trying to check in with more comments. I saw Perry. Hey, John. I like this behavioral repetition to build identity. Oh, Stacy's here. Stacy Rudy, start a habit of listening to Lena and Gav. Ha ha. I love
Yeah,
it.
that sounds like the best one so far, I think.
Ooh. John Paxton, let's talk about weightlifting before moving states. Had the habit once removed from the places the habit were tied to, it fell apart. Wow, very much a house of cards. Interesting. That's so true. That's definitely true. Your environment where you have this habit, if you go to a new environment, it could fall apart because the trigger's not there. Absolutely.
He discusses that in the bit about the US military. Do you remember it when they were in Vietnam?
Yes.
And a lot of them were heroin addicts and came back from Vietnam and just gave it up, just stopped, no problem. Just because the environment was different. I made a note here saying how our environment dictates our habits. A lot of people, again, I mean, I'm one of them. I get up in the morning and I struggle to function until I've had my coffee. It's like coffee first, everything else afterwards. And yet, in one of those instances, say you have milk in your coffee, you get up one morning, you're out of milk, and you think, oh, you have to do everything backwards. It kind of forces you to do everything backwards. So you've got to get cleaned up, you've got to get dressed, you've got to get into your car, go to the store, get the milk, come back, then you can have your coffee. And it breaks your habit by removing that one element. And that's easily done when you change your environment, because a lot of people say they come home, they've got a habit of watching Netflix. First thing they do is pick up the remote control and click. Now, again, if you hide the remote or just put it in a drawer or put it somewhere different, it's that trigger. So you come home, rather than just dropping yourself onto the couch, picking up the remote, you drop onto the couch, you got to pick it up, it's not there. It's like, yeah, that's right. I wasn't going to watch Netflix for an hour or two until I'd done 5 minutes of reading or whatever it was. And it breaks the pattern. So really, really great. I heard once, and I don't know how true this is, but I remember it stayed with me for a while, that it takes 2 days to get into a habit, but a lifetime to break it. So, it's an interesting little quote there. So you have to, instead of trying to break a habit, you have to come up with an alternative habit to break the pattern. So
okay, yeah.
Dreadful job of explaining that, but also in response to Scott's mention of the book, there is a book that I'm about to buy myself, which I've been recommended, called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza, which is apparently a really great book and a great follow-on as well. To Atomic Habits. So I just thought I haven't read it yet, so I'm not recommending it, but I have been recommending it, and it is on my wish list. So
all right, I love it. Perry said that, has anyone ever pronounced your name Kristen Bell? No, but they have pronounced it Jennifer Aniston. Oh, I love it. All right, so I've been seeing some habits. Let's see. Anybody out there want our feedback? And we're looking at the comments right now to say, hey, listen, this is what I want to do. Where should I start? What small atomic habit should I start with first? Or if it's to break a habit, what small atomic habit should I create to break this habit that I do? Because we want to hear from you guys. Absolutely. And when I was talking with Gav about the Atomic Habits and listening to the book, not reading it, listening to it, there's so many correlations with goal setting, and even with the leadership classes that I've been to. And most of the time, our goals will fail if we do not set ourselves up for success. And if we do not have milestones, if we do not hold ourselves accountable, if we do not have the willpower, if we don't create the small goals and steps in order to get to the bigger goal, you just cannot reach a big goal with no plan. How are you going to get there? And you're going to get frustrated and down on yourself, and then the goal is never going to happen. It's so easy for us. And when you read his story, if you do read this book or listen to it, you're going to hear that he suffered a huge accident. Like it was really bad. And yet he popped out of it just with this and just doing things every day to make a better life for himself.
Right, I've just spotted a comment of John Johnson saying, learning a new language, Spanish, where to start. Now, I want to talk about that because I came across a thing not so long back. I sent it to my stepson, sent it to my daughter. Absolutely brilliant. You can learn 88 Spanish phrases and speak something crazy like 70% of the language. because the combination of each of those 88 Spanish phrases will allow you to kind of mix and say the majority of what you need to say in the average Spanish conversation. So yeah, really, really interesting. I thought that was great. So yeah, but with learning Spanish, again, start small, set yourself milestones. And again, I think it's really, really important that, you know, you kind of recognize each milestone and set yourself a reward for each level you get to. So, you know, if you turn around and go, right, I want to learn to say, hello, how are you? How much is the rug? And can I have 2 beers, please, in Spanish? And then give yourself a reward or something after you've learned those kind of 4 phrases. And, you know, I mean, it could be anything you want, you know, you know, maybe buy yourself a bag of Scooby snacks or something, or, you know, if there's a nice watch that you want, for example, that you've seen on eBay, anything like that, you say, right, when I've learned to say these 20 phrases, I'm going to buy myself that watch, or, you know, pair of shoes, or whatever the case may be. So you're working towards something, and then right, that's it. I've learned these 20 phrases now. I've got them. That's going to be my first reward, and go along those ways. So I'm just seeing the comments here. Something to do with
all right. So for those people wanting to learn a new language, here's an example, right? Small habit is get on Duolingo. It's easy. It's free. And set your implementation intention. Every morning after my cup of coffee or after I check my emails, I'm going to get on Duolingo for 10 minutes every day. It's small. It's only 10 minutes. It's your trigger is after you check your emails in the morning, something that you do every day. Okay. Set the implementation intention. I check my emails every day, or I check text messages on my phone every day, right after 10 minutes on Duolingo. And that's your habit every day. And the reward is, I just spent 10 minutes. I gave 10 minutes on the language, and I learned a brand new word. I learned a sentence, and you do it every day, that repetition. Okay. Now, there was another comment to say, how do I overcome negative thoughts? Right. Oh my gosh, because we all got them. And the negative thoughts are, you know, self-deprecating. They are, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, Ellie and I did a whole segment on this. Self-destructive, but there's another term for
the self-sabotaging.
Yeah, self-sabotaging. Thank you. How do I stop the thoughts? Okay, again, make it small, atomic, make it enjoyable or attractive, and create the reward, and set your implementation intention. Every time the negative thought comes in, what's the trigger going to be? Negative thought. Okay, what am I going to do? I'm immediately going to say out loud a positive mantra. It's tiny. It's easy. It feels good to do that. That's your habit. Or negative thought, I'm going to stop thinking. I'm going to take the deepest breath ever, hold it for a count of 4, let it go out for a count of 8, and resettle the mind. It's a small little habit. It can be done every single time. Your trigger is the negative thought. Goes automatically. You take that deep breath and stop thinking and just breathe and settle to the present. Any more comments?
Yeah, really quickly. Apparently let's say she in a private message that she can't comment more than 12 times or something like that. I don't know. Maybe there's a time limit on it or something. I'm not sure. So
shouldn't be, because I did take all those off. So there's settings that people can't comment like over 100 posts, but I have all that removed. So that's bizarre.
Right, not sure what happened there. If anybody is struggling to comment or is restricted in some way, hit the like button. If everybody can comment freely without any problem, can you hit the love button? Just so that we can get a rough idea of if anybody's having any problems. That'd be really appreciated. Thank you. So yeah, with your negative thoughts, I'll just add a little add-on to that. And again, I have said to people, oh yeah, we've got a couple of loves coming in. I've said to people that don't try and stop your negative thoughts. You won't. They're there to protect us. That's what they are there for. They're a defense mechanism. It's so that we don't do crazy stuff. It's to give us that element of doubt. So when we get to a high cliff, we go, hang on, if I jump off there, am I really going to make it? And that element of doubt creeps in. You go, yeah, no, maybe I'll be better off backing off and staying on, terra firma. So again, don't like kind of try and stop them. They are there to protect you. They are there for a good reason. Just recognize them and then ask yourself, is it serving me? Okay, just say, is this negative thought serving me? So if it's something where, you know, you really want to do something and you think, right, I want to go and I want to sing karaoke, and all of a sudden you get this negative thought going, you can't sing, right? Just say to yourself, okay, can I sing? Where's this belief come from? Can I? And does it matter even if I can't sing? Because, you know, she's up there, she sounds awful. So, you know, why can't I be up there and sound awful? I'm drunk, let me have a go. So crack on, go and do it, you know, and kind of dismiss the negative thought and just realize that all it is part of a protective defense mechanism that we are born with. And if it's not serving you and the belief, you know, question the belief behind it, you can then kind of crack on and move on with it. So hope that helps.
Yeah, no, I love that. Don't battle yourself, right? What you want to do, because if you feel like, oh, I have a negative thought, and you get all wrapped around that, that's just going to create more chaos. You don't want that. You want to be calm in the mind. Listen to the thought, investigate it, and tell it to walk away if it doesn't serve you, right? Tell it to go away and think a positive one. I read in the comment where someone said, think 3 positive immediately. I love that. I call saying a positive mantra, and I literally will say it out loud, because when I say it out loud, it makes me really commit to it, and it makes it feel more real than just thinking about it. So you may want to try that.
Yeah, say it out loud, especially if you've got 3 positive thoughts that are your kind of default thoughts. You know, so if you kind of set these up in advance, where you think of 3 positive times in your life, maybe even write them down if you need to, text them to yourself, whatever you need to do. So anytime something negative kind of sneaks in, you literally go to those 3 default thoughts and you go, no, there's that happened, which was brilliant, and that happened was brilliant, that happened was brilliant. These are all positive things, and put you back in that feel good mood. Oh, and another little hint for John here. When I was learning Russian, one of the ways I did it was little post-it notes all around the house and everywhere and everything. So like I had a post-it note on the front of the wardrobe saying garderobe, so I knew that was the Russian translation for wardrobe was. And you open it up and there's a post-it note saying for garderobia, which means inside the wardrobe. I mean, you name it, my house was like, you know, yellow post-it notes everywhere to help me learn Russian. So it's really, really great for you to do that, John, if you can, that way, especially if it's something you're going to do frequently. If you're learning Spanish, like you say, you want to kind of put your post-it notes on especially things you're using regularly. So if you're regularly using your laptop, have your post-it note on it, so when you open it up, you see the post-it note there, say whatever the word is for laptop out loud. Every time you do it, you'll get the association, and bit by bit you will know at least a lot of the verbs. At the very least, you'll be and you can fill in the gaps from there. So another little technique, it really helped me when it comes to learning Russian. Hopefully it'll help you. And again, you know, you can leave yourself post-it notes, subtle post-it notes, if you want to go beyond just the nouns for things. I mean, again, I had one when I was learning Russian, which was stuck to the headboard of the bed, which just read "Spokojnie noche," which is good night in Russian. And every night, you know, I'd say as I was going to sleep, and so these are the things that just help me to associate and that kind of thing with you know, learning the language. So again, I hope that helps. Buy yourself a lot of post-it notes from Dollar Tree, stick them around the house, redecorate, have fun, and let me know how you get on. Have we got any more comments on anybody else?
I like listen to a Spanish speaking show. Absolutely.
Yeah, Stacey's just said I learn other languages by learning songs in that language.
Yeah,
and you can work with me with sign language. Yeah, brilliant, fantastic idea. A lot of people over in Russia and other foreign countries actually watch movies, American movies, and that's how they get to learn the language. So, what did you spot? I've got to see. I saw a smile coming.
I did. I was I tell my inner Simon Cowell, right? That's how you pronounce it, to shove off.
Right. I've got to let Beth know, because she's sending me message after message after message. I think it's just your account. I think you've been blocked. You've probably posted something political that nobody likes, or you've been reported, because everybody else seems to be able to comment okay. So maybe go on somebody else's post or somebody else's page, try and comment, see if it allows you to do it. And if it doesn't, then you know that it's you and not us. If it does, then come back and try again.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. She just sent me the message that it sent her. That's bizarre. So guys, just to recap, right? If you have a goal, here's your goal. Along the way, you got to create this path of habits to reach the goal. And every habit has got to follow this criteria. It's got to be atomic. It's got to be enjoyable and attractive, and it's got to give you a reward. When you create your habits, you're going to have to create them with an implementation intention. Here's the habit. My habit's to play piano 15 minutes a day. When exactly am I going to do it? In the morning, after I make my coffee, after I take care of all the animals and drink my coffee, before I get on my computer, I'm going to sit at the piano and play piano for 15 minutes. Boom, done. It is so specific that it makes sense to me, right? And then that's your habit. And then every day, now I've done this habit every single day, and a month goes by and I'm playing more and more. And then 2 months and 3 months, and now I'm going to get to my goal, right? Think of your goal, think of your habit, create the intention. There you go. And follow that path. And do not beat yourself up when you fall off the wagon, because you will. You will. You totally will. We all do. So what you do is you create a new habit to get back on the wagon.
Yeah. Definitely. Apparently Ziggy's having the same problem, one or two others as well when it comes to comments. I'm really sorry, I don't know what's happening. We have technical issues all the time, don't we?
All the time.
With everything we do. So I apologize to everybody for the technical issues. Maybe you can send us like likes in Morse code or something, and we'll see what we can do. I'm afraid there's not really much else we can do at the moment. If you can't comment, I'm really sorry. What a nightmare. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, reinforcing what Lena said there. Yeah, get into the habit. Don't beat yourself up if you fall off the wagon. Remove obstacles. The last thing you want is you sit down at your piano, the doorbell rings, or or the phone rings, and then you go, all right, I was going to do it for them 10 minutes, but I had to take a phone call. Turn your phone off, right? Put a do not disturb sign on your front door or whatever. Do whatever it takes to remove as many potential obstacles out the way to keep that 10 or 15 minutes clear for you. So brilliant. John said you definitely will repost it now. So please let me know how you get on. Let's see if it works as good for you as it did for me. John Paxton sent a message in Morse code.
Yes, he did.
S.
You can read that?
Not as good as my daughter, believe it or not. My daughter's learning it. Is that sorry? No, I can't quite make it. Can't quite make it out. I'm not as with it as I should be. I apologize. Now I'm looking on my phone and I can't see properly. I can see the first one is an S, but that's about it. So hi to Parry. John Paxton saying sure. Yeah. For anybody who wants to learn Morse code, there is actually an app called Morse Mania, which is really, really brilliant. It's a game that you play, and what you do, it starts off with 2 letters of the alphabet, and I can't remember which it was, and it's like a dot dash for one and a dash dot for the other, or a dash dash or whatever, and it goes between the 2, and when you can definitively like kind of tell the difference between the 2, it adds another 2. And then you build up, and then the 2 becomes 4. Atomic habit. Build up bit by bit by bit by bit. And then it randomly goes through the alphabet until you've got all the alphabet. And before you know it, in no time at all, you are learning Morse code. So I heard somebody outside the room. So it's really, really great with this building up. A lot of people make this mistake and they don't realize that. They think, I can't achieve much in a day. But you can achieve a lot in 30 days. And at the end of those 30 days, you'll be surprised at how much progress you've made. So it doesn't take that much. A little bit each day, a lot of progress over a month.
I love it. Hey guys, what would you like Gavin and I to talk about in 2 weeks from now? I figured, Gav, maybe we'll throw it out to the group and see what would you like us to have a conversation about. You know what we talk about. You know what we talk about here in this Facebook group. So what would you like us to discuss in a fortnight?
Yeah, we'll leave it with you. And if you can't comment, then
we'll start a new thread.
That's it. Send us a message. Yeah, we can start. Yeah. The Gift of Fear book, Brian Jaffe said. Yeah, that Gavin DeBecker. Yeah, it is a really good book, guys. Have you read that, Lena?
No, I have not.
Definitely.
All right. After Tom Gavin.
Oh, John has put sensory awareness game. Okay, we can do that. We can do that. I did do a situational awareness game.
That is something there. Now I'm getting scared for you.
That's all right. I'll survive one way or another. In this world or the next.
Is it your puppy? Is it the dog?
It probably is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably the dog.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I've got a Siberian Husky that's still not sure whether it's a wolf or a dog yet. He tries to eat me every morning. I go down, sitting there and he's chobbling on me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got bite marks.
Awesome.
Bless her.
That is
Okay, right then. So yeah, we'll look into sensory awareness as well as situational awareness. 6 thinking hats from DeBono. Wow, I've heard of that before. Was that?
yeah, I don't know what that one is.
No, that's not the one I made a note of earlier. I would actually like. Let me write that down. Sorry, everybody. I'm going to be quiet for a minute. 6.
And so other people are having a problem commenting as well.
Ah,
It's so bizarre.
nice. That's an absolute nightmare. We apologize. We will look into it and see if we can find out why, and see if it resolves for next time, because obviously that's going to be an issue for everybody. Really sorry about that.
It's bizarre because I know they have security settings don't allow people to post more than 100 comments in a thread, don't allow this, and none of that's checked because I want to encourage comment and conversation. So I don't know. Maybe it was, yeah, I don't know. Confusing. But anyway, we'll figure it out. All right. So any other question, guys, on habits? We talked a lot about the atomic habits. We talked about the elements, how to set them, being patient with yourself, thinking of your overcome, your or your outcome goal, creating that implementation trigger, and just be honest with yourself, right? What can you really do every day to create a habit? I know in my crazy life that there's no way I can dedicate an hour to something every day. It's not going to happen, but I can do 15 minutes. I'll make that happen. So be honest with yourself and make it a small change. Small things, right, happen to create larger things, and it'll create this wave, and you're going to feel good and positive. Because the worst thing you want to do is not succeed or forget to do your habit and then feel down, and then give up hope and lose motivation. And then this habit is no longer enjoyable.
That's it. Brian's just said, Lena, Gavin, what's so nice is I feel like I'm sitting in my living room with you two. So, thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Brian's also mentioned about repetition, which again, that it literally pivotal to everything. It is a daily repetition, and it doesn't matter if you spend 2 minutes doing it, 10 minutes doing it, half an hour doing it, as long as you continually do it each and every day. So yeah, we love it. We'd love to know your suggestions on what you would like to talk about next week, but obviously comments are pretty limited. Sorry about that. So please send us a message, start another thread, let us know. And if we don't know what the answer is, we will find out for you.
And also, guys, this is a family. We are a tribe here for a reason, because we all have the same interest in what we're talking about. So for those of you who have goals, put it in, start a comment, start a thread, and then let's help each other stick and create these habits. I think that would be a great idea. So throw it out to your peers in the tribe and say, hey, this is my goal. What do you guys suggest? What should I do to help me be successful reaching it, or creating? What type of atomic habit should I create?
Definitely. And of course, if you've got anything that's worked for you, whether it's worked in the past or whether it's from tonight, please put it in there. Start a thread yourself. Put in the past I've decided to do X. This is what helped me. That'd be great, because somebody's sending us a message in Morse code. I think it's Parry. Thank you, Parry. I was talking, so I couldn't read what it said. So, but I did eventually get that. That it was short and not sorry. I got that wrong. So, but it was. I got the S part right to start with. So, but yeah. So anything that's worked for you, let us know. Let us know what you did it, and also anything that hasn't worked for you. So that if somebody said I was going to try this approach, and we can say, look, we've had several people try this that didn't work for them. Loads of people have tried things like, say, nicotine gum, and they've ended up giving up the nicotine gum because it just tastes like they're chewing a cigarette and think they may as well smoke. So whatever hasn't worked, let us know, so we can say, loads of people have tried this, it hasn't worked, let's look at improving it in a way that does.
Yep. I love it. All right. Well, it is 1 minute to 7:30, and both Gavin and I have had crazy days today. Oh my word. It's just luckily, I don't even know how we made it live, but we did. Whew, we did. But thank you guys for joining in and listening. We always appreciate that, because without you, we wouldn't be doing this anyway. So again, in 2 weeks from now, let us know what you want the conversation to be centered on, and maybe we'll choose that and talk about it. So outside of that, always be safe, everyone. And I'm going to go into the settings and make sure that that is not checked, because I know it's not. So I don't know what else is going on, but I'll try to figure it out. I'm not techie, but
yeah, we'll have a look, see if we can do some kind of a reset, and
yeah.
Yeah, we'll unplug Facebook and plug it back in again and see what happens.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to count to 5 and plug it back in.
Yeah, and we'll put this video on the YouTube channel as well. So if you do want to rewatch it at any point, it'll be on my YouTube channel or it'll be on Facebook. And wait for your suggestions. Brilliant. Thank you, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed it, as I always do.
Yeah. All right, guys. Be safe. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next week on Clubhouse. Bye.